Have you ever found yourself questioning your worth in relationships? Perhaps you felt the need for constant validation, or maybe you've been manipulated by empty words and promises. The truth is, many of us struggle with understanding our true value in relationships, and often we turn to external sources for validation, be it social media likes, compliments, or the approval of others. But what if I told you that your true worth is not only unchanging, but entirely independent of external recognition? What if the key to fulfilling and meaningful relationships lies in understanding your intrinsic value, showing up as your authentic self, and setting strong boundaries? In this video, we will explore how Stoic philosophy provides a timeless and powerful framework for cultivating self-worth, navigating relationships, and building connections that are based on mutual respect and authenticity. Through practical lessons rooted in Stoic wisdom, you can reclaim your sense of self, protect your emotional well-being, and create relationships that truly reflect who you are. Let's dive into the principles that can help you cultivate stronger, healthier, and more meaningful connections. Understanding your true worth. How often do you measure your worth based on the opinions of others? In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with validation through likes, shares, and comments. We might even find ourselves feeling incomplete or inadequate when these external validations aren't forthcoming. But here's the most important truth. Your value is not defined by how others see you or how many likes your posts receive. Your worth is intrinsic. It exists regardless of recognition or approval. Stoic philosophy teaches that your self-worth is not dependent on anything external. It's like a rare gem that remains unchanged, even when it goes unnoticed by others. This concept is critical in relationships because when you understand your intrinsic value, you stop relying on external sources of validation. Instead, you begin to live according to your core values, whether that's honesty, compassion, loyalty, or integrity. By focusing on these internal qualities, you unlock a more authentic and fulfilling connection with both yourself and others. Ask yourself, are you living authentically aligned with your values, or are you seeking validation from others? Recognizing your worth from within frees you from the need for external approval and helps you build confidence in your relationships. It's a foundation that doesn't crumble when someone fails to recognize your value. Presenting yourself with dignity. How do you present yourself to the world? Are you constantly adapting to others' expectations, changing who you are to fit in or gain approval? Stoicism encourages you to present yourself with dignity and honesty. When you stand firm in who you are, without altering yourself for the sake of others, you reflect the true essence of self-worth. Authenticity is at the core of Stoic philosophy. The way you treat yourself and present yourself to the world sets the tone for how others will treat you. When you carry yourself with dignity, others will respect you. By embracing your true self, unapologetically and with confidence, you create an environment where respect is mutual and genuine. After all, the Stoics believe that our actions speak louder than words. Showing up as yourself without compromise communicates a sense of value and strength. Think about it. When was the last time you tried to change who you were to fit someone else's expectation? How did that make you feel? Embracing your authentic self is not just an act of self-respect. It also attracts others who appreciate you for who you truly are, not for a version of yourself that you created to please them. The power of nonverbal communication. You've probably heard the saying, actions speak louder than words. In relationships, this is particularly true when it comes to nonverbal communication. The Stoics believe that our actions, including body language, posture, and facial expressions, reflect our inner state and virtues. These nonverbal cues can communicate much more than words ever could, and they have the power to influence how others perceive us and how we perceive ourselves. Think about how you hold yourself in a conversation. Do you maintain eye contact, stand tall, and project confidence? Or do you shrink, avoid eye contact, or fidget nervously? Your body language speaks volumes about your self-assurance and integrity. By consciously using confident nonverbal cues, You align with Stoic virtues like composure, integrity, and self-respect. Nonverbal communication can also convey empathy, trust, and understanding. When you are genuinely present with others, when you listen intently and reflect that attention through your body language, you foster deeper connections and a sense of mutual respect. This practice goes beyond just physical gestures. It's about projecting the values you hold dear in every interaction. Ask yourself, what message does your body language send to others? Is it a reflection of your inner strength and self-worth? Being ready to walk away, have you ever stayed in a situation or relationship that didn't align with your values, simply because you were afraid of being alone or losing the connection? Stoicism teaches us the importance of knowing when to walk away from situations that conflict with our integrity and self-respect. Walking away is not a sign of failure, but rather a demonstration of courage and strength. When you walk away from relationships or situations that compromise your values, you are affirming your self-worth and making space for better opportunities. It's a practice of self-respect. In any relationship, be it personal, professional, or romantic, if something isn't serving you, you have the power to walk away. This doesn't mean giving up easily or abandoning relationships at the first sign of difficulty. It means recognizing when a relationship is no longer healthy or aligned with your principles. Ask yourself, are you staying in situations out of fear or obligation, even though they don't honor your values? Walking away, when necessary, can be one of the most empowering decisions you make. It signals to the world and to yourself that your worth is not up for negotiation. Setting boundaries silently, boundaries are essential for maintaining your emotional well-being. But how do you enforce them effectively? Stoicism emphasizes that actions speak louder than words, and this is especially true when it comes to setting boundaries. You don't need to constantly declare your limits. Instead, you can enforce them through consistent behavior and actions. When someone crosses a boundary, it's important to respond calmly and consistently. This shows that you are committed to protecting your values and self-respect. Whether it's a colleague taking advantage of your time, a friend making unreasonable demands, or a romantic partner disrespecting your needs, the way you respond can set the tone for future interactions. Setting boundaries silently means showing with your actions that you will not tolerate behavior that violates your principles. Consider this. How do you handle it when someone disrespects your boundary? Do you react out of frustration, or do you calmly reinforce your limits? By consistently honoring your own boundaries, you teach others to do the same, fostering relationships based on mutual respect. Speak louder than words. Words are easy to say, but actions reveal the truth. Stoicism teaches us to judge others not by their words, but by their actions. In relationships, this principle is crucial. We've all encountered individuals who say one thing but do another. Words can be empty and promises can be broken. But when someone's actions align with their words, it's a true reflection of their character and reliability. By focusing on actions rather than words, you create a relationship based on authenticity and integrity. When you observe consistency between words and actions, you avoid being manipulated by false charm or emotional promises. This practice helps you set a standard for reliability and trustworthiness in your relationships. It's a reminder that actions, not words, define who we are. Think about your own relationships. Are there people whose actions don't match their words? How do you feel about that disconnect? By prioritizing actions, you can navigate relationships more clearly and avoid unnecessary heartache. Cultivating healthy skepticism relationships can be complex, and it's easy to get swept away by emotions. However, Stoicism teaches us to balance our emotions with logic and realism. Healthy skepticism helps us avoid rushing into relationships without observing whether actions align with words. It's a way of safeguarding our emotional well-being and making clear-headed decisions. Healthy skepticism doesn't mean being cynical or distrustful. Rather, it's about observing the consistency between what people say and what they do. This approach helps you make informed decisions, and avoid falling into relationships that might ultimately be detrimental to your self-worth. Ask yourself, are you rushing into relationships or decisions based solely on emotions? How can you cultivate more balance between your feelings and logic? By adopting healthy skepticism, you protect yourself from potential harm and build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Saying no with confidence, one of the most powerful tools for asserting your self-worth, is the ability to say no. Saying no is not an act of rejection. It's an act of self-respect and self-preservation. It means protecting your values, time, and energy. It's a Stoic practice that allows you to stay true to your principles, even at the risk of disappointing others. Saying no may feel uncomfortable, especially if you fear losing a relationship or opportunity. However, when you say no to things that don't align with your values, you demonstrate self-worth and reinforce your boundaries. You teach others to respect your limits and to value you for who you truly are. Consider this. How comfortable are you with saying no? Are there situations where you've said yes out of fear or obligation, even though it went against your values? By saying no with confidence, you maintain your integrity and set the tone for relationships that are built on mutual respect. Never chase. Always value in relationships. It's easy to fall into the trap of chasing after people who pull away or who don't reciprocate your feelings. But Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control the actions of others, only our response to them. Chasing after someone diminishes your sense of self-worth and places your value in their hands. Instead of chasing after others, focus on valuing yourself. Stand firm in your self-worth and let your actions reflect the strength and confidence that come from within. When you prioritize your own value, you naturally attract individuals who respect and value you. You don't need to chase after relationships or validation. By valuing yourself first, you draw in those who align with your authentic self. Think about it. Have you ever chased after someone who wasn't interested or didn't respect you? How did that make you feel? By shifting your focus to valuing yourself, you take control of your relationships and your emotional well-being. Inner strength at its core, Stoicism teaches that life is an opportunity for growth and self-improvement, not merely survival. By embracing your inner strength, you align your relationships with authenticity, respect, and mutual understanding. When your decisions, boundaries, and actions reflect your inner strength, you create relationships that are grounded in shared values and respect. Stoicism is not about enduring life's challenges passively. It's about actively shaping your life according to your principles. By living intentionally, you attract relationships that reflect your true self. You build connections that are not based on neediness or dependency, but on mutual growth and respect. Ask yourself, how can you embrace your inner strength and use it to shape your relationships? What steps can you take today to align your relationships with your core values? By embracing Stoic principles, you cultivate relationships that are meaningful, authentic, and rooted in respect. Conclusion: Stoic philosophy offers powerful tools for cultivating self-worth and authenticity in relationships. By understanding your true value, presenting yourself with dignity, setting clear boundaries, and prioritizing actions over words, you can build relationships that reflect your authentic self. Through healthy skepticism, the courage to say no, and the ability to walk away when necessary, you protect your emotional well-being and create space for deeper, more meaningful connections.